Welcome back, everybody. This is Omni Talk Retail. I'm Ann Mazinga, coming to you from day 2 of eTail here in Palm Springs. Before we get started and I introduce my next guest here, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to NetElixir, who's making all of our coverage here at eTail possible. You can stop by and visit NetElixir in booth 501. All right, with that, let's introduce my guest here. To my left is Kevin Moffitt. Kevin is the president of Office Depot and OfficeMax. Joining us today, welcome, Kevin.
It's great to meet you face to face.
I know, face to face. Yes, we finally get to meet.
Yes, we've tried to connect a couple of times. It's great to meet you here at eTail.
Yeah, of course. Well, tell me a little bit too about maybe what's all included in your role with Office Depot and OfficeMax, if you don't mind.
So I lead our B2C business, but I like to put a little twist on that and call it B2C and B2SMB. We have a tremendous number of small business customers, and it's a market that it's underserved typically because B2B companies are looking at much larger organizations and enterprises, and in traditional retail the focus is on end consumers.
Right.
And so that middle tier is a really, really interesting group of folks, and their needs are so complex. Mm-hmm. They have very similar needs to large businesses,
right,
and they're often doing many of the tasks that would be generalized in a larger company themselves. And so anything that we can do to help, increase their efficiency, increase their effectiveness at juggling multiple tasks at the same time is usually very appreciated.
And what does that look like, Kevin? Like, do you have an example of that just so like our audience at home can kind of get a sense of just how you're doing that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. 95+% of businesses in the U.S. are small businesses, less than 20 employees. And a huge chunk of those businesses are sole proprietorships. Just one person.
Right.
Often, kind of bringing in their friends and family to help support when needed. But the small business entrepreneur is really the backbone of our communities, right? Mm-hmm. They're the local, the local restaurants. They're the local insurance companies. They're providing services that are so important to all of our lives. Yeah. And so creating a real focus from an assortment perspective, from a go-to-market perspective, even our services. I mean, most people know us for paper, ink, toner, the basic office supplies, but not everyone knows that. Every single one of our stores is a full-service print facility.
Interesting.
That can do custom flyers, signs, business cards, you name it. We really can support many different business needs.
Well, Kevin, you were on the stage earlier today with a few other individuals, and I think this session is really interesting, talking about how legacy brands like Office Depot and OfficeMax, who've really been embedded in their communities for years, how you can get that next generation of audience that started their lives in some of them. They're taking over the family business. They started their lives online. What does that look like for you at OfficeMax and Office Depot? And then tell us a little bit about what some of the other panelists shared.
Yeah, so for us, it's such a fascinating time as we saw just an incredible transformation in workspace management, right? Remote, hybrid. I mean, people were working remote before the pandemic, but we're still seeing only about 50% occupancy in office buildings across the country. Mm-hmm. So there's a tremendous amount of momentum behind flexibility in managing your own work environment and your own. It used to be called work-life balance. Some people are still using that term. I find it very interesting because I just think work and life have blended together.
You're absolutely right.
For us, trying to really think through as folks enter the workspace now, most of whom will have experienced remote learning for at least a full year during the pandemic. We're learning from home in makeshift classrooms on their bedroom floors. Not that my daughter did that or anything, but I have
your kids in mind. Yes.
And they just have a different perspective of how to integrate technology into their workday. It just comes so naturally. What I think we're really focused on is just how do you avoid completely taking the human factor out of your work, right?
Yeah.
And even how we take it out of retail. You've seen the trends in retail that many, even large retailers, are moving away from even that final mode of human face-to-face interaction at checkout.
Yeah, right.
Now you have self-checkout. You don't even have a smile and a hello anymore in a retail environment. And we're really proud that, the vast majority of customers who are going to walk into one of our stores, at least they're going to have someone welcoming them, someone asking them what brought them in that day, how we can help them. And, it very often goes way beyond that as well, into really getting to know their business and their needs. And I think that in real life factor, right, is we dismiss it as the younger generations are pure digital. I'm not so sure. I mean, I have 4 children, and luckily they keep me connected to what's going on out there. And I think that, this need for human-to-human interaction as well as tangible experiences, I think does not go away. In fact, it may be more important to the younger generations.
So, Kevin, would you go as far to say as like Office Depot and OfficeMax are turning into more of a service business than they are a goods business?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I would definitely say we are we're much more of a balance than you might think, right? And certainly we know we have tremendous growth opportunities within the services side of our business. Here's a great example. I bet you don't know that you can get your TSA pre-check done at our store.
No, I didn't, but now
so
I
if
do.
You need to renew, you know where to come. 200 of our stores actually offer that service, and more to come. But we're just constantly thinking about how can we leverage our physical assets to help support customer needs. Obviously, business customers, they're traveling, right? And now it seems like if you've been to an airport lately, they're traveling more than ever, right? And so just being able to help facilitate that process is just another example of how we can use our real estate to support our customers.
I think it's really smart how you're thinking about it, because I think we just covered, Joann closing all of their stores today, and what, really is another legacy brand that everybody's so sad to see this retailer kind of die off. But I also think that based on research that we've done, there's not a lot of effort to kind of convert the business to what the demands are of the community. What do you think are the biggest roadblocks or challenges that you've found in your work, or like what hurdles do retailers and brands who are those legacy players, what do they have to get over in order to make their business continue to succeed with this next generation?
I think, look, having spent a lot of time in retail and even more time in digital and e-commerce, I think the constant need to evaluate how you can leverage technology, not just as a solution in and of itself, but really how it helps to transform the customer experience. And we have been major advocates of omnichannel integration for many years. We are a leading edge provider of those capabilities. I mentioned it during my panel. We have the fastest in-store pickup program in the world.
Wow.
And at least I think we do, until someone proves me wrong.
Now I need a stopwatch.
Exactly.
I got to time
there
it.
you go. Well, it's 20 minutes. We have a 20-minute promise.
Wow.
And so if you place an order on our website, you will, within 20 minutes, often very much faster, you'll get an email saying it's ready to pick up. And if you don't, we'll automatically send you a $20 coupon off your next order.
And how do you do that?
We leverage technology in very smart ways. Here's one great example. We partner with Zebra Technologies. All of our associates carry mobile devices with them at all times. And so as part of our just operational efficiency, we leverage those devices to do everything. Inventory management, controls, making sure the right products are on the right shelves, making sure our pricing is updated, but importantly, making sure that customer needs are taken care of as the first priority. So as soon as an in-store pickup order comes in at any given stores, alarms are going off. It's ready to go, and it's often taken care of, within minutes.
I have to give you kudos, Kevin, because you're really hitting on all the things that we've been talking to retailers about that they're trying to do to create an omnichannel experience that works for the customer, to not bog down your associates with multiple devices and platforms in order to do this work. And for a legacy brand, it's really impressive the work that you and your team are doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to underestimate the challenges that are out there. Retail is transforming, it's changing all the time. Customer expectations are changing. You really obviously have to stay focused on that experience. And what I really am very proud of is we have incredible NPS scores in our stores. Our associates genuinely focus on making sure that our customers walk out of the store happy. And I think that is a big differentiator for us.
Absolutely. Well, let's conclude with this question.
Sure.
You're already using a lot of really cool technology to help with those experiences, but we're at eTail. There's a lot of new content being discussed about new retail technology. You can walk the floor and there's tons of information for new partners. What's kind of top of mind as you look ahead to 2025 for you and your team? What technology or challenges are you going to try to tackle this year?
Yeah, there's really two big things that I say we're focused on. One is leveraging AI for very clear use cases.
Okay.
And one way that we've leveraged AI is to digitize all of our user manuals, our SOPs, all the associate-facing documentation, and put it into a model where AI will help them just get to the solution that they need right away. Remember, with any complex retail organization, you're going to have thousands of things that are possible, right? For any customer walking in. One particular thing may only happen in your store once a year, maybe, right? And so being able to quickly figure out how to accomplish that task is really important. So I think that's one interesting use of technology.
And that's like generative AI or LLM based?
Leverages, you know, basically put everything, all of it, into the machine. And then the machine parses back out to individual associates the answers to their questions.
So as a new associate, I could be like,
obviously,
what are the closing procedures for my store? And
it'll or some you know, small use case in our print center, right? That may be relatively uncommon. So that's a great example. And then the other one is really around personalization. Obviously, we've been talking about personalization for a very, very long time, but we are actively working with our marketing partner, platform partner right now on revamping all of our promotional emails and really looking to increase the amount of targeted content that we have out there. We have a really diverse customer base, and we know, right, a teacher they're going to have different needs from a small business owner.
Right.
And so being able to leverage that information is really important to us.
Well, Kevin, this has been quite an impressive conversation. I have
relatively short but hard hitting.
Oh my God, yes, this has been great. Thank you so much for sharing all of the updates from your team. Thanks for taking the time with us here.
Sure.
Quick thank you again to NetElixir for making our coverage possible. And until the next interview, be careful out there.